I would love to welcome you on another of our sessions. I think this is maybe 12th or maybe 14th session we're doing. And today we're having an exciting topic, which is focused on leveraging social media in your advantage as a creative, either whether you're a visual creative or whether you are someone who is working in different creative industries like musician or dancer. But today's session is going to be focused on giving you some specific suggestions, but at the same time making sure that we're able to cover different industries. Before we start, I would love to remind you again that this amazing incubator is actually supported by Visegrad Fund. And you already had the chance to get to know our amazing partner from Art Connect Society, Valentine, GJW Gallery. You met Paulina and Philip, and of course, Ari Kupsus. I believe that it was last Thursday that all of you received from us the email where we shared with you the specific link to booking the consultancy sessions and as well how it works. So as you may know, all of you can book 2 consultancy sessions with different mentors, or you can book it as well with the same mentor. But in general, I would strongly suggest you to just make sure that you book your consultancy rather sooner than later, because there are certain limited spots. And of course, you might not have the chance to do the consultancy session with the mentor you would love to do it with. If you have any questions regarding the consultancy sessions or in general regarding the incubator or regarding any topic, you can always, or specifically as well today's topic, you can always write it in the chat, or you can just unmute your mic at the end of the session. And definitely you don't have to feel hesitated to actually ask all the questions, the burning questions. So today we're going to focus on the leveraging social media for art promotion. For those who joined us last week, we had a very nice session which was focused on collaborating with other creatives. This session was done by me, but we had actually guest lecturer, Andra Ehret, who is a great artist and a person we're working with at Victory Art for a very long time. And currently we're working on a new collaboration. And last week, we actually, at the end of the session, we dived a little bit into the social media and how specifically she's leveraging the social media. So today we are actually going to discuss more the strategies for the social media. So we're going to really talk about the specific examples you might be able to just leverage. So why it actually matters to have a social media. One of the things which are the most difficult for artists in general, doesn't matter what kind of artist, creative you are, it is to put yourself out there, to properly showcase your art. And this is a bit difficult for artists, mainly because they feel that they have to manage it all. And sometimes they feel that it doesn't really come naturally to them and that they can be authentic. However, leveraging the social media, it's actually about creating nice brand around you. It's about making sure that you are showcasing your true self. And of course, another thing, which is kind of a positive side effect, it's about attracting your potential partners and clients through the social media. I really would love to embrace the fact that the online environment very much changed in the last few years. And even though it's important to have the online presence, like Instagram, recently for artists, LinkedIn is getting very, very important, Pinterest, it is important to as well reach out to audience in just face to face in offline way, not only in the online way. And the reason why this is not only that people feel that they need to be connected, just like in person again, how it used to be more. However, it's mainly because social media algorithms is changing like crazy all the time. So what worked, let's say, 3 months ago might not work today. However, there are certain things that you can follow, which is definitely going to be relevant even in 2 years. However, if you really are just trying to chase the algorithm, you will never catch it. So, so even though you're trying to build your online presence, I would love you to have certain healthy expectation about it. And even though you want to have it, you want to do it, just make sure that you as well stay authentic to yourself, and that you don't push yourself to the limits where you would feel uncomfortable. So if we're supposed to talk about the social media, you probably know Instagram, of course, very popular for artists, different kind of artists, especially around 2020, 2019, amazing tool how to sell a lot of art to a lot of collectors. The same Pinterest, amazing, right? TikTok, it's really great, not only for visual artists, but as well for dancers, for musicians. Twitch, yes, Twitch is as well amazing place where you as a musician or dancer, you can showcase what you're doing and build the community, because Twitch is especially about the community. And if you're a person whose target audience at this point in this incubator, you should know your target group, because we already discussed it in terms of different topics or in different cases. So if you are trying to target older target group, I would definitely suggest you to rather dive into Facebook, because there's this trend that older generations, I mean millennials plus, they usually are present on Facebook quite strongly. Millennials, that's the generation which is usually as well pretty active on Instagram, but Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're all more focused on the Instagram. However, if you are an artist, probably Gen Z already might become your buyer, but probably Generation Alpha not yet. So I would definitely suggest you one more time that if you are not aware of your target group, I would definitely dive into it. If you need help with that, I'm really glad to actually schedule the session with you and discuss it a little bit further, so we can identify who can be your target group, that you make sure that you communicate to the right people, and that you can leverage your talent as much as this possible. Before, or actually another thing, after you define the target group, and you should know it, it is about showcasing or actually presenting yourself online in appropriate way. You have no clue how many times I saw artists, doesn't matter what kind of industry they were in, presenting themselves very unprofessionally online. So, and I'm not even talking about standard things like having a professional picture, having like relevant description, that when people come to your profile, when people, doesn't matter if it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, wherever, TikTok, they should know within 2-3 seconds who are you, what are you doing, and whether they can buy from you, whether they can purchase your service, whether they can schedule something with you. It should be really clear within 3 seconds. And so if you're an artist who really tries to make it, and your profile is missing such basic or elementary information, I would definitely strongly suggest you to dive into it. But coming back to the topic, and coming back to really looking professional, I wouldn't really, put funny nicknames unless it's your artistic nickname. I wouldn't really put your personal pictures. I mean, pictures with your loved ones, with your family, with your children. I would be very modest with these kind of things, because even though you're online and you try to present yourself, you really need to just make sure that you have still certain kind of privacy for yourself and your loved ones, and that you are able to showcase your identity without like showing everywhere your personal life. This is well very crucial, which very nicely can even mentally separate you from what you are trying to showcase and your offline life. Another thing which I sometimes see is artists venting out there online, and it doesn't really give a professional and good impression. The same goes not only regarding their personal things venting out there. I saw one artist posting that his girlfriend kicked him out and describing the whole drama he had with his girlfriend. This is not professional. If you want to do something like that, do it on different profile, do it in your close friends group, but just don't do it publicly where you're trying to sell. The same, I understand that the political situation these days and just geopolitical environment is very crazy, but I would strongly just suggest you not to really say it publicly in unprofessional way. If you really feel that you want to share something, or you feel that this topic is important and I feel that I have to say something, I understand. Probably everyone comes to a certain point, but make sure that you do it in certain diplomatic way, because it can really influence your career in a huge way. And there were many artists who destroyed their careers because not only because their opinions, but the way they were saying things online. So make sure that you still keep your profile professional, and please don't mix your personal profile for your friends with your professional profile. That's never good. Another thing is that when you're an artist, every single person just has a certain kind of way how they dress, how they speak, how they present themselves, and that goes hand in hand with your online visual identity. So it means that if there's a certain way you want to do the copywriting, the descriptions for yourself, or there are certain ways how you want to edit the videos, edit the pictures, you maybe want to have the more let's say noise on the picture, so it gives the film camera effect or something. It's amazing. So make sure that you don't jump from one thing to another very quickly. And even if you want to experiment, feel free to experiment, but rather experiment somewhere in the stories or with the content, which is not gonna completely stay there. But just try to find what works for you. And of course, if you're a busy person who has already family, person who is focused on the studio work and stuff, just make sure that there is a good lighting and that you can directly reuse the content you are capturing or you're trying to showcase with as little hassle as possible. So of course, when you're posting, it's doesn't matter, it can be whatever social media. It can be post, the copywriting text or blog, or it can be video. If you're using certain pictures of you performing, of you doing your art, creating your art, or of your art, it should have certain quality. It shouldn't be, rasterized, pixelized. It really should have a good quality in order for people to be able to appreciate it. I understand that right now some of you might say, yes, okay, this is good advice. However, what about the fact that some people might steal my artwork? Honestly, that can happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. That can happen. I know artists who it happened to as well. Last week, the artist we had here, she had the same experience. Her artworks, posters are still sold at Walmart in USA. She still was not able to fix this issue, because if someone just wants to steal your art, they gonna find way, even though maybe there's a watermark. You might have heard about the fact that ChatGPT launched, I think, like 3 months ago. Not ChatGPT, OpenAI. They actually launched another tool which is creating the pictures, and there was actually last week as well a huge discussion online regarding the fact that OpenAI or AI was just able to copy famous artists. Well, yes, that can happen, but so there's higher chance that you're gonna leverage positively the social media than negatively. And one of the ways how you can really protect yourself, and I keep telling it to everyone I meet, to everyone I interact, to our whole team, that you need to be safe online and just make sure that you have two-step authorization, that your passwords are not like 1 2 3 star, but are proper passwords. All these simple things which might seem very elementary, but they're really crucial these days. Another thing, really perfect thing, is just to do the behind the scenes content. I am 100% sure that every single person who is right now with us is able to create certain behind the scenes content, whether you're dancing, whether you are writing, whether you are taking photos, whatever. You can do a lot of behind the scenes content. So I would definitely suggest you to go for it. It can be spontaneous, it can be story, it can be post, it can be short description, it can be whatever way you feel comfortable, but just feel free to go for it and to really try for the people to be connected to you as a person. Recently, especially on the LinkedIn, the carousel posts get amazing reach. Whether you're a painter, photographer, dancer, I don't know what kind of creative graphic designer, you definitely can create different carousel posts with sharing the knowledge, even on a professional network such as LinkedIn. And we all know ChatGPT, we all know OpenAI. You can always leverage it very much in your advantage. At the same time, when we're talking about some behind the scenes, you can always do as well reels, right? Like when you're creating this kind of content. So the best way how to create the content is actually making sure that you are able to reuse that content, first of all, on different social media in a way that it's adjusted / personalized for that particular social medium, but that you're able to tweak it and edit it quickly for different purposes. So try to think as well that, okay, I am a person who doesn't want to spend a lot of time, or I'm the person who is not very much interested in having hustle around social media, or I don't know how to do it. So just try to think how effective you can be, how efficient you can actually be while doing different kind of things. Of course, every single platform has different hacks how to reach more audience. Some of them have hashtags. For some of them, of course, the visual content works better. For some of them, video content works better. The more you're engaging with your audience directly by commenting on their comments, responding to their messages, and etc., you're probably able to get higher reach. However, for the engagement tips, I wouldn't really dive into it very much because they're constantly changing. So what we're going to talk about right now might not be relevant in 3 months. And so I would just continue further. And there are a few ideas what you can do, right? Like with your social media. You can always do certain tutorials, you can do time lapse, you can always try to showcase more your particular style you're having. It can be as a photographer, it can be as a writer, it can be the storytelling behind the scenes. However, just try to make sure that people can somehow connect to what you're doing. Because if there is no connection between them, you, and they cannot empathize with your art or you as a person, then it doesn't matter what you're going to do, it will never work. So, so just try to think how you can make people feel more connected to you. At the same time, you can always post what you're doing during the day. And I don't even mean BTS content, but I mean, sometimes you're definitely attending amazing exhibitions or amazing events. You might be reading great article. You might find amazing new store where people can get supplies. Like even this kind of tiny tips might people really follow you. So I personally keep following a friend of mine who is founder of a tech company, and she is very much focused on empowerment of the female businesses and in general female entrepreneurs in these days business scene. What she's doing, she sometimes creates her own content, but mainly she's resharing very interesting posts online, especially in the stories, which she feels personally connected to. And she feels that, oh, this is important to share. And I have to say that every single time I see on Instagram, like this circle with her new story, I always click on it. And I have to say that 80% of time I just like press heart, like, because I just love the content she's sharing. And she's not creating that much content, yet she's still having engaging content because she's sharing very interesting tips. So I would suggest you that if you are passionate about something which is connected to your industry, it has to be somehow connected. I would suggest you to as well reusing other people's content. Like these days, you can just push share. They even can track to the person who you're sharing from, so there is no issue with GDPR and with copyright and anything. But just like just give it a try. You never know what is going to work specifically for you. As you heard last week's discussion we had with Andrea, she's doing her social media very, very on a rather on like a personal, authentic, emotional feeling way. Like this is how she navigates herself, by just doing things, by feeling how to do these kind of things. And maybe that might work for you. There is honestly not a single way how to make it on the social media, but just making sure that you do it in a way that it fits you is already a great tip to start. So as we already mentioned, using certain engaging content like polls, Q&A sessions might be very good. I have to say that when our company was starting back in 2018, we were doing a lot of live streams of our artist painting online, and that used to be very popular as well. We are not doing it anymore. I'm going to talk about the negative side of social media a little bit later. However, this might be as well a way for you to actually do it. And of course, I would not really suggest to do live sessions anymore on Instagram, as it is not as popular and it used to be. This is another example of algorithm changing the way people are interacting on the social media. But I would definitely suggest you to try it on TikTok, to try it on, for example, on Twitch. So these kind of places might be more relevant these days for such kind of things. When you are doing all your social media, there should be certain storytelling behind it, right? Is it about you showcasing your art? Is it about you sharing your knowledge? Is it about you sharing your service? What is it about, right? You need to really come up with certain goal and certain story and just a knowledge you want to share. That's very important. There should be certain emotion. If there's no emotion, people are just not able to connect with you. So even though you're trying to maybe have a little bit of space between yourself, the online world, and maybe the offline world, there still should be certain emotion added. If you're an artist, you have unlimited options of making sure that you can somehow shock the audience. And shocking the audience in a positive way can kind of go viral sometimes. So if you want to be bold, if you want to give people this surprising element, I would definitely suggest you to go for it. Depends what kind of industry you are in, right? It can be unexpected step, it can be unexpected painting, it can be action painting, it can be unexpected collaboration. So many different ways how you can bring the action online. And sometimes it even makes sense to maybe connect your art or what you're trying to create with certain story or memory from the past. So let's say if you are someone who is, I don't know, doing action painting, then you might want to associate your art or the way how you're presenting your art with someone who was doing their art in a similar way, maybe Jackson Pollock. Just an idea, right? It's literally unlimited ways how you can connect yourself to different people and just leverage it. So just try to really think outside of your box. In general, we already discussed the targeted content, right? If you're trying to go to art fair, if you're trying to have the collaborations with other creatives, we already discussed this kind of targeted content many times. So I wouldn't say that we should dive into it further at the moment. However, sharing testimonials of people you worked with, sharing testimonials of the clients, your teammates is always amazing, and sharing the updates about yourself, about maybe sold pieces, sold awards, is a great way how to gain this kind of credibility. Personally, I used to be very active on social media, and I have to say that around Corona, I just decided to take a step back and started focusing more on different things. However, what I always make sure is that whoever I work with, I always ask them for LinkedIn review. And I have to say that currently I have maybe 30, 35 LinkedIn reviews, which are very positive. And I just really love looking at them. I really love sharing them with other people, because of course that gives them as well the more confidence to work with me and to trust me in the process. So really try to utilize these kind of things. Sometimes you can even ask your friends, in the beginning. I understand that if you're a creative who is just starting, it might be a bit difficult to just get some review from buyer or from client, but just try to work around this challenge with someone you have a better relationship, you have close relationship with. And one thing what I really hate to see, especially on our social media, but I have to be very transparent here, it sometimes happens to the best, to us as well, is that if there is a certain content on the social media which is missing call to action, then it's definitely not a good sign. And I don't mean that, hey, I had this for lunch or this is a cool place I visited or something, but I mean, especially if you are posting something which is connected with your work, if it's connected with your portfolio, with your service, anyway, with the events you're preparing, etc. And there is no call to action, meaning that message me for more information. You can purchase this here. Click here. I don't know what ways or like what verbs you want to use in your calls, but it has to be there somehow. Like check my portfolio, check my website, get to know me, get to know my projects. Like there always should be something what people can follow up on, what people can do the second step. So when you're creating the content, just make sure that you have this on your mind, because that helps a lot. And of course, if you're a creative who doesn't have a website, it's fine. However, you need to still have a place where people can come and can get your service, get your product, connect with you. It can be, let's say, if they want to connect with you, can be LinkedIn, right? Pretty good tool. If they want to book your service, I think it's possible to do it as well through LinkedIn. Then if you're an artist, visual artist, and you don't have website, there's possibility to actually create your shop on Facebook and then connect it as well to Instagram and tag each product. So that can be a way around how to work it out, but you need to have certain solutions for those people. This is gonna sound very mean, but this is very realistic. No one is going to look at your content for more than 3 seconds. They have to get very, very, very excited for what you're doing, for what you're posting, for what you're trying to sell, to actually look at you for more than 3 seconds. And at the same time, people are extremely lazy. So if you don't give them direct instructions, if you don't tell them directly where you want them to go, what you want them to do, they're not going to do it. And this is perfectly fine, because in this day's world, the engagement on the social media is decreasing, and just people's span of focus is so short. So you just need to make sure that you are able to capture that you're able to actually get a little bit of their focus for a few seconds to share what you want to share. It's definitely good to check how you're doing with the insights by analyzing your content. That can as well help you to assume or to tweak your target group of people you're trying to sell to your service to, right? If sorry, if you feel that your audience are people who are above 70 years old, but you never get this kind of traffic, you get people who are, I don't know, 55 plus old, then probably that's your target group, right? Like you need to really have the reality check based on the data. There is a very nice saying that if you're trying to promote something without analyzing data, it is as shooting into darkness. And that's where it starts, that's where it ends. It's always like that. Make sure that you adjust strategies in a way that you will able to resonate with your audience, that you're able to keep up with the constantly changing algorithms. I would suggest you to only invest in advertisement when you are able to do it, slash you have someone who can help you to do it, because otherwise it's waste of time, waste of your money. And second thing is that you have a specific good message you want to share. Advertisement expensive in the past few years, and while I would say around 2018 to 2021, It was firstly cheaper, more smaller businesses did it. It worked much better than it works right now. It changed very much. So these days, you mainly see bigger companies doing it, especially on Facebook. That one got quite expensive. The same with Google. It got more expensive. I'm not saying it's only massive companies, but you need to have certain bigger budgets to really leverage the advertisement properly. So you need to really make sure that you know what you're doing. And I'm not saying that investing even 100 euros a month is bad. No, it's good. It's always good if you can reach more people, but these people have to be your target group. And you just need to understand the advertisement. Of course, there are another aspects that you might get spam traffic, and there are other ways how you can eliminate the spam traffic and how you can really really properly track people who are coming to visit your profile, who are coming to visit your website. But that's completely different topic. That would be technical marketing, which I could definitely share with you my experiences, but I believe that some of my colleagues would be much better in that. So let's not dive into it, but if this is something you would love to talk about, your advertisement strategies, definitely feel free to schedule with me the session. I would love to run you through certain details or certain points. So you're going to receive, of course, all the resources, the video, the seminars, the seminar, of course, a presentation and the worksheet already tomorrow morning. So don't forget to check your emails. As I mentioned, you get what you give. You have a week to work on it. So it's really up to you how you're going to leverage it. And I would love to say two things at the end of this session, which are a little bit on a more negative tone or like negative aspect of the social media. Our company, especially when we were, smaller company, when we started our Instagram account, specifically Instagram account, it was back in 2017, and we were able to increase the number of people who were following our account to around 6,500, 7,000 people. I don't remember exactly, but it was between this number. It was like going up and down. And I have to say that especially between 2019 and 2021, we as well invested a certain amount into advertisement. We had amazing people who we worked with on making sure that we leverage it in a proper way. However, it was 2023 and our account was hacked, even though we had two-step authorization on. We lost a lot of data. We lost 6 years of work. So that was quite a sad thing. And right now we're trying to build our Instagram again from scratch. So, by the way, you can follow us. However, what I want to say is that this is as one negative aspect of social media, that you need to be careful what you're even sharing in the private messages, not only what you're sharing out there, the content, but as well, just make sure that you are safe just in general, within online environment. And that, as I mentioned, it's right that you have two-step authorization on. And that's one of the reasons why social media should be just an addition, but shouldn't be your super full crazy focus. You investing massive amount of money into it, because you never know when it can disappear. You never know how Meta is going to change the algorithm and completely just mess around with your work. And you just need to have a real expectation and reality check about it. You heard from Andrea last week that before 2023, she was as well selling a lot around the world just through Instagram, and it very much changed, and it doesn't happen nowadays, right? So what was good back then for visual artists might not be the best way how to do it these days. However, it's still important to have a good social media presence, because first things first, when people want to get to know you, they will just Google you, they will search your name, and what pops out is important. And based on that, they're gonna make decision about working with you or just opinion about you. So make sure that it's worth it. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask. But before we're gonna dive into it, I want to mention to you one more time the consultancy sessions. All of you can book 2 consultancy sessions with the mentor of your preference. So I would definitely do it sooner than later in order to make sure that you take a spot with your desired mentor. There's change in the schedule, which I already discussed with you multiple times. So you can see the details here. We're going to inform you one more time in a written form through emails. And next week, we're going to focus on building and maintaining professional networks. It's going to be done again by Victory Art. And right now, it's the time to actually ask us anything. So I see that we have one question here. If there are more questions, definitely feel free to either unmute your mic or just put it in the chat. And I would love to give my word to Jason. Jason, bring it on.
My question though is a little bit more about the idea of diversification and exclusivity. So I'm a big fan of diversification in the sense that I think you don't really know. I mean, you should, but there's a lot of benefits in spreading out your social media across different channels, right? So we all use different channels all at the same time, and then as you go along with time, you realize that there are some channels that are just absolutely useless for you and your audience. So, for example, I started out with like 6 different social medias, and then I just slowly cut them down to like the best 3 or 4. Uh, Maybe I just want to get your thoughts on what you think is, or maybe even your own experiences of like setting up different social media strategies and then finding out or what happened that maybe helped you pivot or rethink or even cut out all these channels in the past, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, that's a very good question. And I have to say that not only me personally, but as well, Victoria Art was in a position that we had a lot of social media. And having a lot of social media is actually bad idea, because you are just spread too thin and you're not able to create high quality content. So there's one aspect of that. But making sure that you choose the right ones, that you specify, or like you focus on a particular one. I would say that it's important to only follow the data, to follow the insights. So I'm gonna give you an example. We are on TikTok, but our TikTok is pretty dead, because it's just like it's not gonna work for us, right? Like we would need to do completely different kind of videos, which we are doing, and it's fine. Like we have the TikTok, we post content on TikTok because we already have these videos, so it's there. But for us, it doesn't really make sense that much to do it. But where we are very strong on currently is Pinterest and LinkedIn. And Pinterest and LinkedIn, those are actually the places where our potential buyers or partners or clients are. So the only thing, the important one, is just to follow the data. That's really, really important. And depends what kind of medium you use, you get different analytics. I believe the best analytics are provided by Meta. LinkedIn is giving okay analytics, but it could be so much better. But if you want to really know what kind of audience you might want to have, I think that for the beginning, Meta might be a really good one. But it's really just about the data. It's literally about the data, and then based on that, you're able to literally see the content which works, the audience which is reacting to what kind of content. And but it's gonna change. It might change, and there's a very high chance that it will change at some point because people are interacting differently in social media. The algorithm is changing. Different people are gonna see the content you actually want to show, maybe to different group, right? But certain things you just can't influence.
Yeah, I guess there's always a benefit to like throw things onto social media and just hope someone would like see it and maybe
Mhm.
use hashtags and certain kind of
Yeah.
like audience targeting. But if you're not really in this, you don't study this like very much, it's very hard to kind of, like you said, manipulate that, right? And most of us are just hoping that people would see it by recommendations or all that. So I guess another thing maybe I could ask if you don't mind is how much more or how much of your percentage do you still keep for very traditional forms of marketing, like basically word of mouth, or something for the local crowd, let's say, instead of,
Mhm.
always depending on social media.
Yeah. First things first, let me elaborate on the thing what you said, just like putting things out there and see what's working, what not. It's called A/B testing in marketing, and this is
Mm.
actually the perfect way how you can start. It's like
Yeah.
the great way how to start because you might have certain assumption, but something else might be the truth. So definitely, if someone doesn't know how or what to do, just put it out there and see
Mm.
what will happen. The second question, can you please repeat it?
Yeah, just like how much do you still do traditional marketing?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that before 2022, I would say it was maybe 80% online, 20% offline.
Mm.
20% offline, it was especially when we did certain events, when we were trying to get people to specific venue. So it was this kind of activities. However, nowadays I would say it's 50-50. And the reason why it's 50-50 is because first of all, our focus and our target group changed. Art industry very much changed. That's as well elaboration on the discussion with Andrea we had. Um, we saw that we had one group of clientele until the end of 2022, and it
Mhm.
completely changed since 2023. So our company focus or our company strategy very much changed. And based on that, and as well based on the changing algorithm, uh, based on the horrible experience we had with Meta, and it wasn't only this Instagram account, it was as well my personal account, which was connected to another business account of ours, which was connected to so many other things, got hacked. And that just influenced so many things internally that we decided that we're definitely gonna improve and increase the old school way of marketing.
Mm. Thank you.
Yeah, gladly. And are there any other questions at the moment from anyone else from the audience? You can just feel free to unmute your mic. You can feel free to just write it in the chat, whatever you prefer. And if you don't have any other questions, that's perfectly fine. You can always reach our team at victory@victoryart.eu. We're here to help you. I want to pinpoint one more time that don't forget to book your consultancy sessions. There is limited amount of spots, and I think that they should be finalized by July. So there's as well limited timing to actually do these consultancy sessions. And in any way, I would love to wish you all amazing evening. Have a great day, and we're gonna see each other next week on another of our sessions. Focus on the building relationships. Have a great day.